Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
Fly ball out into deep left. Holiday. Gone! Cubs win! Cubs win! Two-run homer by Rizzo. Gorgeous weather once again here at Wrigley Field as we get you set for Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. The Cubs coming off a series win over the Cardinals, and they welcome in the playoff contending Pittsburgh Pirates. It's the opener of a 3-game series. And hi again, everyone. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. The Cubs in by far their best stretch of the season. They've won 18 of their last 28, and all but one of those games has been with Anthony Rizzo in the lineup.
I don't think it's just a coincidence either, Len. Anthony Rizzo has really provided something this offense desperately needed. One swing offense. We saw it to end the ball game yesterday. You see the Cubs' numbers since Anthony Rizzo came on board. He's hit in 22 of his 27 games as a member of the Cubs and has looked very comfortable doing it.
Left-hander Eric Bedard for the Pirates. Right-hander Justin Germano in for Matt Garza. It was a good weekend for the Cubs as they were able to take the final 2 games to take that series. They welcome in the Pirates coming up next on Comcast Sportsnet.
It's your policy. Toyota. Right now, you can get a lot for less at your local Toyota dealer, official partner of the Chicago Cubs. The new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. BMO Harris Bank. Helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank. NA member FDIC. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Wind is turned around, blowing straight out as we get started here tonight. The Pirates here at Wrigley Field, believe it or not, for the first time this season. It's the latest calendar date they've made their first visit to Wrigley Field in the modern era. And the Cubs won 2 of 3 at Pittsburgh last week before coming home and taking 2 of 3 against the Cardinals. And offensively, about what they've done this season, averaging just under 4 runs a game, but it's all about the pitching.
Yeah, the pitching's been really good, Len, and you see the extra base hits, a lot of run scoring opportunities created by leadoff doubles and triples and getting guys into scoring position right away in an inning. And the timely hitting has been much better lately. The average not so great, but the end result is 4 victories in 6 games.
Speaking of the Pirates, who just took 2 of 3, or 3 of 4 rather, in Houston, this is what they've done on the road. They come in having homered in 19 consecutive road games, during which they've hit 40 total. And they have the most road home runs among all big league clubs.
Go figure. This is not the lineup on paper that you would look at and say that's the team that's going to lead the majors in home runs on the road this season, but that's been the case. You see, their club record is only 110, set back in, I believe it was 1966.
Happy 55th birthday to Pirates manager Clint Hurdle. The Cubs would like to give his Pirates a loss as a birthday gift. Now the Pirates Southwest starting lineup. Starling Marte homered on the first pitch of his big league career last week. Alex Presley moving over to right with Marte in left. McCutchen, the all-star in center. Garrett Jones now at first. Neil Walker at second. Pedro Alvarez plays third. You've got McHenry, Varmus, and Bedard.
Take a look at the Cubs defensively here against the Buccos tonight. It'll be Soriano, Reed Johnson, and Jeff Baker left to right across the outfield. Joe Mather getting a start at third base. Starlin Castro, Darwin Barney once again make up the double play combo, while Anthony Rizzo will man first base as usual. Giovanni Soto doing the catching for right-hander Justin Germano, making his first start as a member of the Cubs. You see his combined numbers with the Red Sox and the Cubs. His outing with the Cubs, unfortunately, he took the loss, but came in relief in the 4th inning of a 12-0 Cubs loss and pitched 3 innings of 1-run baseball. Was very good in doing it.
Crew chief Tim Cheetah, in his 27th full year, will work the plate tonight. Veteran of 3 different World Series, Jeff Nelson, Bill Welke, and Chris Guccione will handle the bases. Nice night, warm, and again the wind blowing out as we get started.
Another good-looking outfielder for the Pirates through their system. Starling Marte last year in Double-A. Led the league in batting average, in hits and doubles. And as you mentioned, first pitch he saw in the major leagues, he hit for a home run.
So he has now been the leadoff man in each of his first 5 big league games, and this is how he debuted in Houston last Thursday.
Big mistake for Starling Marte, because now you've set the bar so high. You homer on your first pitch. Where do you go from there? Well, I got a feeling he's going to be going to a lot of all-star games.
Germano starting for the first time as a Chicago Cub, and he strikes out the rookie Marte for the first out.
We're talking about Germano, even his own manager says he's crafty. And usually when a manager or a pitching coach says that about a pitcher, it means he relies a lot on his off-speed pitches. Now, the good news is he's got tremendous arm speed on both the curveball and the straight changeup. He'll change speeds on both of those pitches. His fastball will sit in the low to mid-80s, but the arm action is so good on his off-speed deliveries, they can be very effective.
Alex Presley bunts. Soto will retrieve and get him by a few steps.
It'd be nice to have a quick 1-2-3 inning in the top of the first here, just so Germano can settle in a little bit. I'm sure, even though he's got major league experience, he's got some butterflies working here. His first start at Wrigley Field.
Well, this is Germano's first major league start since 2010 when he was with the Indians. He made 16 starts at AAA Pawtucket in the Red Sox organization before he came over to the Cubs. And a strike, the major league's leading hitter, Andrew McCutchen, was in at 368. Germano in for Matt Garza, who threw off the mound for the first time since leaving his start a week ago Saturday with the cramping in his triceps. And hopefully Matt is back in action late this week in Los Angeles. Curveball missed. 1-2 on McCutchen. Talking about the breaking ball for Germano. He's got that curveball. The slider is a relatively new pitch. Two and two.
I think that was what you call a waste pitch right there. Giovanni Soto was set up over in the other batter's box on that 1-2 pitch. The bio for Justin Germano, born in Pasadena, California, will be there this coming weekend.
His debut with the Padres in 04 is Soto's got room. Quick 1, 2, 3. Well, Anthony Rizzo with that big home run yesterday will come up third as the Cubs go after Eric Bedard when we come back. Up against left-hander Eric Bedard. The Cubs 7-1 in their last 8 versus left-handed starters. Johnson, Castro, and Rizzo at the top. Anthony's hot here lately. 7 hits, 3 homers over his last 4. Soriano, Baker, and Soto make up the middle of the order with Barney, Mather, and Germano at the bottom.
Quick look at the Pirates defensively tonight. Marte in left, McCutchen in center, Presley over in right field. It'll be Alvarez, Barmas, Walker, and Jones third to first across the infield. Mike McHenry doing the catching tonight for left-hander Eric Bedard.
His first start in a week and his second consecutive start against the Cubs. He was really good in Pittsburgh last Monday, but he took the loss 2-0. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. He struck out 11.
And had a tremendous curveball working in that game. He'll work his fastball both ways. He'll sink it, he'll cut it, but the curveball and the changeup, by far his best off-speed pitches, and he will use them liberally.
Course, 2-0.
Saying that, Len, after pitching against the Cubs last weekend, throwing a lot of curveballs, Bedard may think himself into a corner. Well, they know I'm going to throw a lot of curves, so tonight I have to rely more on my fastball and my straight changeup. We'll see what kind of an arsenal he uses here early in the game.
1-1 in 2 previous outings, both this year and both at PNC Park. Tim Cheetah with one of my favorite strike calls in the big leagues. Bedard has a sign from his catcher McHenry. Slap foul with the seats down the right field line.
This was Eric Bedard at PNC Park last week. That's that big curveball we've been talking about. Could start it in the strike zone, break it out of the zone, or throw it for a called strike early in the sequence. That just didn't take many good swings against Eric Bedard in that game.
Johnson swings and misses, but he's going to reach first on a wild pitch.
Was that curveball in the dirt this time to Reed Johnson? McHenry a little lackadaisical. You could see how that ball spun back to McHenry's right to our left as we were looking toward home plate. That's because of the spin on that curveball. When it hits the dirt, it doesn't take a true hop. It's going to kick back to the left because of the rotation on the pitch. Watch the bounce this ball takes when it hits the dirt. McHenry thinks he has his glove in a good position. The ball actually hits him in the right arm.
So it's Starlin Castro. Got a Starlin and a Starling on the game tonight. Leadoff single in the 10th on Sunday, and then scored the game-winning run on the Rizzo home run. 5 hits, 4 runs in that series for Castro. Drills that ball out into deep left. Off the wall. Pat Listash is going to send Johnson. He will score standing. Just like that, 1-0 Cubs. How about this? They have now scored in the first inning in 6 consecutive games.
A changeup that drifted off the plate inside. Starlin Castro with a nice quick swing, able to keep it fair down into that left field corner. Lee Johnson realizes very early on that ball's going to get down. The only question is he going to have to stop at third, or will Pat Listash wave him on home? I think the Pirates probably would have had a play at the plate with a clean relay, but Clint Barmas decided just to hang on to the ball.
So yesterday's hero, Anthony Rizzo, 3 hits, the big one being the game-ending opposite field blast in the 10th. The first game-ending homer of his life, as we check our Xfinity high-speed action.
I find that hard to believe. Somewhere along the line, he didn't hit a walk-off
T-ball home run,
roll to the parking lot home run.
$2-0.
Well, now that he's done it once, hopefully we'll see it a lot more often.
Eric Bedard from Ontario, Canada. It's his off-season home in Seattle. One time pitched for the Mariners. 2-1. Former Oriole, Mariner, and Red Sox. I've long debated whether it should be Red Sox or Sox, but because it's an X, we go with Sox.
Soxes. He's a member of the baseball team in Boston that plays at Fenway.
Right. Rizzo pops it up. Pedro Alvarez will get it right in front of the mound. It's the first out.
Looking back at that start in Pittsburgh, the Cubs really didn't make much noise against Bedard until the 4th inning. A leadoff walk to Castro, later a double by Alfonso Soriano to score him. Leading up to that inning, it had been strikeouts and easy ground balls and lazy pop-ups.
Career game number 1,700 for Soriano, who has 7 hits during a modest 5-game hitting streak. His career against the Pirates, 327 at bats, 26 home runs, 62 RBIs. High pop fly out into shallow left center. It's McCutchen for the second out. And it'll be up to Jeff Baker.
Serrano just missed that one, got under it a little bit, skied it high in the air to shallow left center field, but nice swing. Timing was perfect, just a little underneath the baseball.
Baker was hot there for a while, 0 for 10 over his last 6 games as he gets his 32nd start of the year. Well, Swain choosing to put Baker, Johnson, and Joe Mather, all right-handed hitters, in the lineup. For Laher, De Jesus, and Valbuena.
Even though Baker has struggled a little bit lately, we highlighted Anthony Rizzo at the top of the show, but I think the improved production from Jeff Baker and Reed Johnson against left-handed pitching has also led to the Cubs' resurgence in the second half of the season.
It was a head-scratcher early in the year. The Cubs just couldn't figure out left-handed starters. They are just 11 and 18 overall, but they're 7 and 1 in their last 8.
I mean, Dale Swain basically has used 2 different lineups pretty much all season long. The cast of characters has changed a little bit, but he tries to get as many right-handed bats in the lineup against a left-handed starter, and vice versa against a righty. And when those guys aren't producing in your platoon situation, it's going to cause some problems against lefties. But when Reed Johnson and Jeff Baker started to hit lefties a little better, the Cubs started to win more games.
Chased one there, 0-2. Always fun to see the little nuances of a batter as he gets ready to hit. Jeff Baker bounces the bat on his back shoulder. There you go. Able to hold up on the swing.
Well, every hitter has something they do to get that stopwatch started in their own mind, time that pitcher's delivery, get the bat into a good position as the ball is being delivered. And for Jeff Baker, it's tapping that bat on his right shoulder 3 times.
Down the middle on a fastball. Baker might have been guessing there with 2 strikes. Castro with the RBI double. Cubs lead 1-0 after 1. noon here at Wrigley Field. Game time is 1:20, but be sure to arrive early. The first 4,000 children 13 and younger will receive limited edition American Girl doll-sized Cubs apparel. Doll not included. Compliments of Pepsi. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. 89 degrees as we got started. Southwest wind at 5, so right now it's blowing straight out toward the scoreboard in center. And Chicago area native Garrett Jones playing first base. And hitting cleanup, and he takes a strike.
Jones has homered 3 times in his last 6 ball games. Went way back yesterday in Houston, a 423-foot homer.
Soriano into the corner to make the grab. Switch hitting second baseman Neil Walker.
Walker's another one of those guys that's rapidly developing into a Wrigley Field hitter. Carlos Lee, there's a number of guys on the list, but Neil Walker, a 346 lifetime hitter here at Wrigley with 4 homers and 13 runs driven in just 13 ball games.
The Pirates last week went out and acquired left-hander Wandy Rodriguez to help out their rotation. Even though they've been hitting home runs and scoring a lot more runs than they did early in the year, they're still looking possibly for another bat.
It was 1 year ago today that they went out and got Derek Lee from the Baltimore Orioles, hoping to jumpstart their offense in the second half.
The one thing they really lack offensively is a veteran position player who's been there, played in October. So these guys just trying to put together their first winning season in the big leagues. Just inside, 1-2. And I don't know if that matters. Does it matter to have a guy like a Derek Lee or a Ryan Ludwig, who also was acquired last year for the final couple of months? Easy fly ball to right, and Baker for the second out.
I think as you get down into the month of September, if you're still involved in a pennant race, it helps to have guys who have been there and done that and can forewarn the younger players or the guys who haven't been through postseason baseball what they're up against. Media scrutiny becomes much more concentrated. You find yourself leading the highlight show every night when you're involved in a pennant race. It's something the Pirates, especially this group of Pirates, are not familiar with.
An awkward looking swing on a first pitch from Alvarez. Only Miguel Cabrera has hit more homers this year among third basemen. Cabrera with 25, Alvarez with 21. Ryan Braun leading the way with 28. Jason Kubel putting together a really good season for Arizona. Neither of these two starting pitchers is going to set any speed records on the radar gun.
Well, I was just thinking because of that, it would be to the Cubs' benefit for Giovanni Soto to alert Tim Cheetah behind home plate. Don't call it too soon. I mean, Germano's not going to be overpowering, but he does have a lot of late movement. We saw a pitch in that last at bat to Neil Walker. Ended up being a strike on the inside corner because it had a lot of late tail. It started off the plate inside, tailed back to the corner. Sometimes you need to alert that umpire if a guy has a special pitch or there's something about his repertoire that looks different from a normal starting pitcher.
He's run at full, 3-2. Giovanni facing the Pirates for the first time in his career. Here it is. Swing and a miss. He's faced 6 batters. He's retired all of them. A couple of strikeouts, including Alvarez. Cubs lead 1-0 early.
Camp reports on Sportsnet Central. Kip Lewis and John Moon Mullen bring you exclusive interviews, the latest roster moves, and more from Bears camp in Bourbonnais. Bears training camp reports every night on Sportsnet Central, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Here's Giovanni Soto leading off the Cubs' second. We like the first inning runs. The Cubs have scored in the first inning now in 6 consecutive games. First time they've done that since 2001, according to Stats Inc.
Cubs on the season are 30-14 when they score first in a ball game.
Home run, swing and a miss. Well, as somebody said to me today, talking about that first inning run, you score 1, they've got to score 2 to beat you. That's good math.
That's real good math.
Yeah. Called strike 3. Now Darwin Barney, who had 3 hits yesterday, including 2 doubles.
We've seen back-to-back called strike 3s for the Cubs. Jeff Baker to end the first, Giovanni Soto to start the second. When a pitcher has a reputation of being a breaking ball, off-speed pitcher, and we mentioned Bedard's outing against the Cubs last time out, he threw a lot of curveballs. Occasionally you can sneak that fastball in there with 2 strikes.
Interesting that Darwin Barney swung at that pitch. Looking at Fangraphs today, they have a category called outside contact percentage. That is, when you swing at a pitch out of the strike zone, how often do you make contact? And for Darwin Barney, it's just under 86% of the time. That's 4th in the majors. And you can look at that both ways. I like the fact that he's not swinging and missing. But you do maybe want him to not swing at those pitches And on a 3-2 count, draw an extra walk or two.
Or a first pitch.
Or a first pitch. He went that time. 1-2.
That ability to make contact with pitches out of the strike zone serves you well many times in a 2-strike situation when that pitcher tries to put you away with a breaking pitch off the plate or an elevated fastball out of the strike zone and you're still able to make contact. It could lead to some 2-strike base hits, but you definitely don't want to chase out of the zone early in the count.
Handcuffed catcher McHenry on a fastball that reached 93. Reminiscent of the old Eric Bedard as he hits Barney. As I say that about Darwin, he swung at 3 pitches out of the zone, only made contact with 1 in that at bat. Joe Mather playing third. 15th start at third, 34th overall. Of the trade deadline, I'm sure we'll have some deals to pass along to you before the night's over. A lot of rumors out there, as you can imagine. This is not a trade, but an interesting move for the Miami Marlins. Carlos Zambrano has been demoted to the bullpen. Left-hander Wade LeBlanc will take over Z's spot in the Marlins rotation. Carlos's ERA over his last 3 starts just under 7. Three and one.
Well, it's not a move that's unfamiliar to Carlos. Cub fans will remember when he was pulled from the rotation here in Chicago and sent to the bullpen when Lou Piniella was the skipper. And you just have to wonder if Carlos would have been able to bring home some victories early in the season when he was pitching well and Heath Bell couldn't close out a victory for the Marlins, if that might have turned his year completely around.
A real rough one recently. I think he walked 6 guys.
He gave up 4 runs in that inning and not a base hit.
Correct. A 3-2 from Bedard. To deep left center, but it's going to be caught by McCutchen. So Bedard has settled in. He's retired 6 in a row since the double by Castro in the first. Playing well is that the Reds have been playing better. Now they are trailing early in the bottom of the third, 9-4 at home against San Diego, but they've rattled off 10 consecutive wins. And the Cardinals also haven't been that bad lately. They're a distant 7.5 back. And news and notes, interesting move in Milwaukee. The bullpen coach, Stan Kyle's fired today. They've had all kinds of problems in their bullpen. John Axford and K-Rod gave it up yesterday. Former big league pitcher, former Pirate, in fact, Lee Tunnell will take over in the Milwaukee bullpen.
Brewers also fired a couple of parking lot attendants, figuring that'll help turn things around.
One and one on Mike McHenry. Now Francisco Rodriguez has an ERA of 5.36. John Axford has blown 7 saves as a 5.11 ERA. That is just foul.
Henry loves to pull that ball to left field and just does hook that one foul down into the left field corner. I'll tell you, these Pirates catchers have been doing a nice job with the long ball. Michael McHenry with 9, Rod Barajas with 8. The math is right. That's 17 total home runs. You see they rank 3rd among National League catchers. Only Atlanta and Colorado have more. St. Louis also has 17.
I think what, all but 1 or 2 hit by Yadier Molina.
Yeah.
Curve didn't break. 2-2. Last year, right around this time, July 26th, AAA Columbus, Justin Germano with a 9-inning perfect game. It was the only no-hitter in AAA last season. He was at Syracuse as he strikes out McHenry for his 3rd punch out.
There's that arm speed, and this time on the curveball. Great downward movement. You see the rotation over the top, causing it to break down toward the ground. McHenry just went right through it.
Well, the only guy in the lineup tonight with previous at bats against Germano, Clint Barmas, 2 for 4. And he pulls one down the left field line, and it's going to be foul out of play. Sinker's just outside.
Barmas, a guy you do not have to throw strikes to get him out. Only 5 walks this season and 288 at bats. Especially with that pitcher hitting behind him. Get him to chase out of the zone.
Two and 2 with the pitcher Bedard on deck. Kind of. He's just standing up against the fence in front of the dugout, not even taking practice swings. Bounced up the middle. Barney can't get it, and that's the Pirates' first hit.
It's a swing designed just to make contact, protecting the plate with 2 strikes. Just put it in play somewhere. No stride, just flips the barrel of the bat at the ball. Grounder up the middle. Nice effort by Darwin Barney, but not so sure he was going to get Barmas even if he comes up with it out there in shallow center field.
Bedard will try to get Barmas to second for Marte. Bunts it foul.
That trade that the Pirates pulled off to get Wandy Rodriguez bumped Eric Bedard out of the top spot for Pirates pitchers in sacrifice bunts. Wandy Rodriguez really good, has 7 already this year. Bedard has 5 sac bunts.
Pretty good one. A slip by Mather from the seat of his pants, and Barney able to stay on the bag.
We've seen a number of defensive players slipping and sliding on the Wrigley Field turf in the last few games. That time Mather keeps his wits about him, realizes he's got plenty of time to throw from the seat of his pants and get the slow-footed Eric Bedard at first base.
Well, that's an easy one to airmail. Starling Marte, 6'2", 180 from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. And he fouls for strike one. They signed him back in 2007. Last year he spent the whole year at AA Altoona and led the Eastern League in average hits and doubles. Only 23. And he's going to tie the game. Barmes will score. It's going to be a single. Good job by Soriano to get it back in quickly, but it's a 1-1 tie. Marte with his 3rd career RBI.
Wade's back well on that slow curveball, identified it quickly. Able to keep his hands back and still drive the ball into left field for a base hit. I want to go back to that Clint Barmes at bat. I mentioned it at the time. Very aggressive, overly aggressive swinger at the plate. Perhaps Germano gave him a little bit too good of a pitch to hit with 2 strikes. Able to get that single up the middle and ultimately score on Marte's base hit.
You know, with Marte now playing left, and that is a position that's a little more difficult to play when you're a Pirate, because you've got more ground to cover in left at PNC Park than in right. But with Marte, McCutchen, and Presley, that's probably the fastest outfield in the major leagues. Presley with a fly ball. Baker will make the grab, and the inning is over. But the rookie Marte ties it up with an RBI single. So Starlin and Starling have the RBIs tonight. Pages for the latest team promotions, unique news, and giveaways. Visit Facebook.com/Cubs to like the Cubs on Facebook. Follow the @Cubs Twitter handle on Twitter.com/Cubs. Germano will lead off for the home team here in the bottom of the third. 9 out of 50, 180 career batting average with 2 doubles. Ryan Dempster scheduled tomorrow night against a former Florida Marlin teammate, A.J. Burnett. Dempster just 5-5, but a 2.25 ERA. Burnett's 12-3. And yes, right now Ryan Dempster is still a Chicago Cub. And the 2.25 is second in the majors behind Ryan Vogelsong's 2.22. Swain was asked a lot about the trade deadline tomorrow, and specifically about Ryan Dempster. And Dale was asked if he would be surprised if Ryan is still here after tomorrow, and he said yes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Bedard picking up where he left off in terms of missing bats. In his last start, he had 11 strikeouts to tie a season high. He already has 5 through 9 batters tonight.
As we approach that trade deadline, it's a lot like studying for finals. Some organizations will wait till the last possible minute before pulling the trigger on a deal. Have to take into consideration the effect it's going to have not only on your team on the field to add another player, but what effect will it have in the clubhouse? What's it going to do to our finances moving forward? And what's it going to do to our fan base and our team if we don't make a move? Because I'm referring to teams that are looking to add players for a possible playoff run. Those are the organizations that usually get a lot of pressure from their fan base, from their season ticket holders, from their own employees. What are we going to do? Sometimes they wait until the 11th hour to pull the trigger.
One and one on Johnson. Tip. Make it 1-2. We mentioned this in Bedard's last start. A little Ted Lilly going on there with that windup. And a big breaking curveball. So that hip turn. Ground ball to Alvarez.
Tomorrow night, don't miss Chicago Tribune Live, presented by Captain Morgan. Hip-hop artist Lupe Fiasco joins host Dave Kaplan. That ought to be interesting. To discuss the day's hottest sports topics and set the table for the night ahead. Chicago Tribune Live tomorrow night at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
We'll have award-winning singer, songwriter, actress, and entrepreneur Gloria Estefan. She will conduct the 7th inning stretch. Castro with an RBI double in the first inning. A lot of talk when the Pirates got Wandy Rodriguez, who was going to be the odd man out in their rotation. It ended up being Kevin Correa. the right-hander who had won 6 consecutive decisions. His ERA wasn't great, but he had been winning. He has now indicated that he'd like to be moved to a team that will start him. Three and 0 to Castro.
And you can certainly understand Kevin Correa's meaning there. You know, he's pitched well recently. He wants to stay in the starting rotation somewhere, but something to be said for joining one of the game's best bullpens on a team that could possibly head to the postseason.
Castro draws the walk. I think the other part of it is it's basically now their 6th starter. I believe there are going to be starting opportunities over the final couple of months. First walk issued by Bedard. Correa during that 7-start stretch with a 3.89 ERA got a lot of run support during that time, but he was 6-0. Yet he gets demoted. Towering fly ball center field, playable for McCutchen, and the inning is over. 2-out walk, no runs. We head off to the 4th on a nice night for baseball. 1-1.
Brought to you by the new Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
Great work by the Menards grounds crew after the 3rd inning. A 1-1 tie. These two teams meet up for the 7th time this year. 7th of 16 matchups, but the first here at Wrigley. Now Andrew McCutchen has reached base in 37 consecutive games against the Cubs. Two balls, no strikes.
Big inning here for Justin Germano. 2nd time through the lineup. Has to work his way through the 3, 4, 5 hitters in this Pirates lineup. A lot of danger here with McCutchen, Jones, and Walker, followed by Alvarez. Definitely don't want to start it with a leadoff walk to a guy who can steal a base.
Well, he has just been on fire. And he draws the walk, so he's now reached in 38 consecutive games against the Cubs. And I think the other part of it for Dale Swaim in terms of the trade deadline is just a practical one. All right, he's got Ryan Dempster slated to start tomorrow night. Well, tonight he's got to pull his long man out of the bullpen to start for Matt Garza. All of a sudden Ryan Dempster gets traded over the next 20 hours. Obviously he and his staff have thought about who would fill in for Dempster, but you try to squeeze an extra inning or two out of Germano just in case. A lot of things to think about. That's why Dale has said he'll be happy once we get past 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot of uncertainty. I mean, what do you get in return? If it's a starting pitcher whose day it is to pitch, well, that makes it pretty easy. If you can get him here logistically in time for the ball game.
Mather's got to back up. He's going to throw to first. Not in time. He couldn't get anything on the throw. And the Pirates are in business. 2 on, nobody out.
There was one particular instance where the exaggerated pull shift on the infield actually hurt Joe Mather. He had to wait for that high chopper to come down. His first look was to second base, but you could see how far Darwin Barney had to go to get to second. Mather then slings it across the infield where Jones is able to leg it out for an infield single.
Well, 2 on for Pittsburgh native Neil Walker.
Well, and not only does that affect the major league pitching staff, but I'm sure Dave Bialis and his staff down in Iowa have been put on alert to be very careful how they use their pitching staff tonight. And they may have already targeted a potential starter for tomorrow's ball game in the event of a Ryan Dempster trade. Things change quickly this time of year.
Mather, even with a bag at third. Castro shaded up the middle against a switch hitter Walker, and he takes a strike, 1-1. Old foul on the ground, 1-2. If Germano had his druthers, he'd be wearing Joe Mather's jersey number, 21. Remember, Mathers started the year with 16, now wears 21. That's Germano's favorite number. He said, I'll take that number when I can get it. He's worn it going back to Little League. And right now, Bob, he's got Lou Pinella's old number, 41. I think Lou's number used to be 14, but that wasn't available when he got to the Cubs.
No. And occasionally a guy will, for example, take double his number. 21's not available. I'll take 42. Whoops. That one's not available either.
Up the middle. Castro smothers it. He will throw to first in time. So they do get that key first out. Both runners advance. That ball was hit really hard. A nice play by Castro.
Cheated a little bit up the middle to begin with, makes it somewhat of an easier play. Smothered the ball, as you mentioned, and picked it up and fired onto Rizzo for the out at first. Ball gets out briefly right there, but Starlin knows where it is, goes after it with the bare hand, which you love to see. A lot of guys will pick that ball up with the glove, and then you have to make another exchange to get the ball into your throwing hand. That time Castro just grabbed the ball off the ground and fired onto Rizzo for the out.
I always like watching him fire those sunflower seeds into his mouth. He'll do it between pitches when he's batting. Second and third, Alvarez swings and misses. Well, he's been ultra aggressive so far tonight.
The word is flailing. He is just hacking up there. Tremendous power when he makes contact, as evidenced by the 21 home runs, but he swings and misses a bunch.
Soto setting up shop way off the outside corner. One and one. Germano's last start came at AAA when 8 innings for Pawtucket on June 30th. So that was a month ago against Lehigh Valley. No runs, 1 strikeout in those 8 innings against Ryan Sandberg's Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Putting together a really good year at AAA with a 2.40 ERA. He'd rather pitch here. 3-2. Bob, he's thrown 1,459 and a third innings in the minor leagues. Just over 260 innings at this level. Bases are loaded. He's pitched in Japan. Spent the second half last year in Korea. As we check on our AT&T UVerse multi-view, McCutchen, the go-ahead run at third. He's at the bottom of your screen on the right. Garrett Jones at second, and Alvarez now at first. The batter is McHenry. Kick the 0-1 to third, backhanded by Mather. They will only get one. Taylor made. Barney able to catch it for the out there, but cannot make the relay throw. McHenry will get an RBI, and it's 2-1.
Well, that's too bad. Germano got what he was looking for, a hard ground ball right at one of his defenders. Mather had some options there. He could have gone to the bag at third himself and thrown across the diamond. But generally on a hard hit ball, you go ahead and turn the double play up the middle of the field. It looked like the Cubs were going to be able to do that, but Barney just could not find the hand.
The Pirates have the lead. First and third. Here's Barmes. Armas is what you get into late on a Saturday night on Rush Street. Popped up, and it'll be Barney to retire Barmess. And the inning is over. Pirates grab the lead with a single run. It's now 2-1 Pittsburgh. The gift to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Receive a customized photo announcing the birth on the Wrigley Field marquee, a Cubs birth certificate, Cubs baby stocking cap, and a Cubs Rookie of the Year onesie. Perfect for parents and friends alike. Visit Cubs.com for more information and to sign up today. I always wondered what that onesie looks like for the parents and friends.
Ooh. It's a bad mental picture for some parents and friends I know.
Soriano, Baker, and Soto.
Cute as a button on a baby.
Yeah. Well hit, straight away center field. McCutchen with a little peek behind him, and he makes a grab for the out on the warning track.
Couple of well-struck balls in this game by Alfonso Soriano with nothing to show for it. A deep fly ball to left center. And now that one to straightaway center.
Bedard to Baker. Outside. Still waiting for a picture of Marty Brenneman with a shaved head. He did follow through. Said if the Reds win 10 in a row, I'll shave my head. The Reds came through yesterday. You know, they're putting together this streak without Joey Votto. Recently had knee surgery. Might come to an end tonight. They're down 10-4 in the fifth at home against the Padres. Yonder Alonso returning to Cincinnati has 3 hits, all doubles. Boy, Ozzy's not waiting around. Carlos Zambrano's in the game. Mark Burley tonight taken out after allowing 6 runs in 4 1/3. And Z found out earlier today he was going to be in the bullpen, and he's pitching in relief. Braves lead 7-1 in the 6th. Atlanta looking for its 6th in a row. just off the outside edge. That's amazing. The Reds are 11-2 since Votto went down. It's got to be a nice confidence boost for a club. Loses its best player. Ripped into center. The second Cubs hit.
Oh, it was really hit hard back up the middle of the field. So hard it carried all the way out on one hop to McCutchen in center field.
Soto. Nice crowd on hand tonight. A little bit late arriving crowd. Back breaking balls. 0-2. How about Mike Trout for 17 tonight for the Angels? Kendrys Morales with 2. As the Angels lead Texas 12-4 in the 6th inning in Arlington. Josh Hamilton has hit his 29th for the Rangers. Henry kept it in front of him.
Strikeout wild pitch to start the ball game tonight for the Cubs to Reed Johnson. The first wild pitch that Bedard has uncorked all year, which is amazing considering how heavily he relies on that curveball.
Take a look the north side of the city. Up past Waveland. Pitch low. The Astros beat these Pirates yesterday to snap a franchise record 12-game losing streak and trying to make it 2 in a row. 2-0 lead at Milwaukee in the 5th. Check on Baker. Let's see if he'll be on the move here. Part of the problem is Bedard's been striking out so many Cubs. Got 5 so far tonight, had 11 last week. Not running, and it's taken for ball 4. Here's Darwin Barney with 2 on.
Well, we haven't seen the throwing arm of Starling Marte as of yet in left field, but reportedly has a very strong, accurate throwing arm. We know McCutcheon's real good in center. Presley probably an average arm, but he charges the ball extremely hard in right field. In the event Darwin Barney can squeeze that ball through the infield and get a base hit. I always like to watch the catcher and the umpire the first game of a series. That foul ball Darwin Barney hit just to the right of home plate off the screen, and it ricocheted right back and very nearly hit Mike McHenry. And Tim Cheetah had to recoil out of the way. He's looking back there checking the angle now.
Yeah, that screen is held up by the tightest guide wires in the big leagues.
And everything is deflected right back toward the plate.
Sinkers outside.
We like it when the wires look the way they do now. Occasionally a pigeon will need to take a break and perch on one of those wires right above the fans, sitting comfortably below them. You know what happens next.
Fans not quite as comfortable.
No.
Yeah. Good luck.
For the pigeon, maybe. I don't know. Good shot. I've heard that too, but I prefer to find my good luck with a four-leaf clover or something.
Well, yeah, as I read on the internet, actually, it should be good luck because on average, you've already had some bad luck. The things tend to even out. Really slowing things down with runners on base, and that is a big blast. Darwin Barney with a 3-run homer. And the Cubs lead 4-2. Just his 7th career home run. He's hit 5 of them this year.
Well, that's a great example of making an adjustment during the course of an at-bat. Darwin Barney had been tardy on some fastballs earlier in the sequence from Eric Bedard, but got that 92-mile-an-hour heater on the inside part of the plate, sped up his bat, got the barrel out in front of home plate, and hit that ball a long way.
Every home run he's hit at this level has been in this ballpark, and that's a go-ahead homer to make it 4-2. A chopper by Mather, charged by Barmas. 2 down. Well, there was little doubt about that Barney home run.
Generally, Darwin Barney's home runs are usually of the line drive variety, the kind that barely get over the basket and straight away left field, occasionally out in left center, but that was a power hitter's home run right there.
Yeah, all of his home runs have been hit to the left of center field. Ended the game in the bottom of the 9th off Dale Thayer here on May 30th. against the Padres. First career 3-run homer. And the beneficiary is the guy at the plate, Germano. He's trying to get his first big league win since 2007. It's been almost 5 calendar years since his last win here in the bigs. Swing and a miss, so he'll head back out for the 5th with a 2-run lead courtesy of Darwin Barney. A 3-run blast off Bedard. Question: which team holds a single season record for most home runs on the road? And the Pirates coming into action tonight have homered in 19 in a row on the road. That's a club record, and they lead all major league clubs with 72 on the road, but it's a home run tonight that's been the difference. Darwin Barney with a 3-run shot.
See Wrigley Field like you never have before. Go behind the scenes and get an insider's look at nearly 100 years of history in this legendary ballpark. Guided Wrigley Field tours may include visits to the press box, clubhouses, and dugouts, as well as a chance to actually step on the field. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com/tours. Tour sizes are limited and sell out fast, so get your tickets today.
Bedard looks at a strike. This is Reed Johnson. We've been keeping tabs on the AA Tennessee Smokies. A little double dip action tonight, huh?
Yeah, a little doubleheader against Pensacola, the Reds AA farm club. The Smokies won the first game and are leading, as soon as I get updated here, at least 1-0, maybe more in game 2 of that doubleheader.
Marte with an awkward looking bunt, and it's foul.
Mentioned the other day, Jae-Hoon Ha, the fine young outfield prospect for the Cubs at AA Tennessee, ran into a concrete wall the other day and was taken off the field on a stretcher, taken to a local hospital via ambulance. Happy to report just a concussion. The best possible news that you could imagine. Going to start resuming baseball activities this weekend.
Mather bare hands, throws late. So Marte showing off his wheels. Bunted foul, then bunted fair for a hit. He's 2 for 3.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to bunt the ball to the third base side on the first offering, but somehow ended up pushing it foul down the first baseline. But no doubt about that one. Nice play by Mather, just too much speed from Marte.
Adrian Cardenas with a 12-game hitting streak, hitting .329 at Iowa. Right-hander Matt Lucen leading the Florida State League with Daytona. He has 10 wins. The Orioles' Javier Baez in July hitting .367 with 7 homers and 20 RBIs.
Gave you a lot of numbers on Marte earlier, how he swings the bat at the minor league level. He also steals bases, 4 seasons of 20 or more stolen bases. He didn't get caught 12 times last year at Double-A Altoona, but stole 24.
Pretty good lead over there, not running, and Presley takes a strike. Well, you'd have to be a pretty old Cub fan to remember this. Back in 1933, July 30th, on this date, Dizzy Dean set a modern record, 17 strikeouts against the Cubs. His battery mate Jimmy Wilson set a record with 18 putouts behind the plate. Cubs pitch out. Marte not running. This time he goes, and a fly ball out into left center. Reed Johnson will get there. Marte had already rounded second. Relay throw by Castro, in time! Double play. 8-6-3 to double him up and end the inning. Well, the Pirates' aggressive base running cost them an out.
Look at our Home Depot. Well, we're going to have to hang on now. Reed Johnson's anxious to get in there and get a base hit and get this inning started.
Started an 8-6-3 double play. And he hits a ground ball that kicks away from Alvarez.
I will show you our Home Depot doing more on defense. Watch Starlin Castro, the Cubs shortstop. He comes in and bluffs like it's a double play at second base. Marte had no idea where the ball was until he realized it was out in left center field. By the time he recovers and retouches second base, Cubs are able to double him off at first. He had no idea where the ball was. Starlin Castro didn't help him whatsoever. And a nice replay by Castro to complete the double play at first.
An error on Alvarez starting the inning. Castro has doubled, picked up an RBI, and walked. In addition to that nice deke.
I didn't notice initially, but Marte did take a peek to home plate, but he did it so late he didn't know where the ball was.
Ground ball up the middle, base hit. Johnson's got a hold at second. Qdoba's giving the first 20,000 fans the chance to win free food if the Cubs get a base hit here in the fifth inning, and they have. Fans with a base hit for Burritos game card win a free entree. All set up for Rizzo. Kick and the pitch. Outside for a ball. The Cubs are leading this game 4-2, and they're threatening to get more off Eric Bedard, but the Cubs, the team with somebody up in the bullpen. Jeff Beliveau. Haven't seen anybody get ready yet for the Pirates. Rizzo cranks this one out into deep right center. Out of here. A three-run homer. Seven to 2.
Anthony, where would you like your home run pitch? Our BMO Harris pitch track shows it right down the heart of the plate, down around the knees, right where he likes it. Rocket line drive home run to the bleachers in right center field.
You gotta love the three-run homer. The Cubs with a couple of them, one in the fourth, one in the fifth. And they've stretched the lead to 5. And now there's action in the Pirates bullpen. Chris Resop's playing catch. Curveball strike, 1-2. sure Anthony was thinking, I can't let little Darwin Barney upstage me tonight. If he hits a 3-run homer, I better.
But see, Darwin will tell Anthony Rizzo, mine went a lot deeper into the bleachers and left than yours did to right.
It's true. Hooked into left for a base hit.
Good to see Soriano finally get some results here tonight. We had mentioned in his previous 2 at-bats, he hit the ball extremely hard and deep, but not deep enough. 2 fly balls to Andrew McCutchen in center on the track. This time a hooking single through the hole on the left side.
Pitching coach Ray Searage will come out, trying to buy some more time for Resop. It's a whole new era at Wrigley Field. Be a part of it with Vineline, the official magazine of the Chicago Cubs. Vineline gives you insider access to all your favorite Cubs from the past, present, and future. Subscriptions start at just $29.95. For more information and to order, visit Cubs.com/Vineline. Here's a pitch to Baker, fouled back. Just on a curve, 2-1. Another foul back to the screen. Remember how this inning started on an error by Pedro Alvarez. It's usually a bad omen for the pitcher. In this case, it certainly was for Bedard. Castro then singled. Rizzo homered. Swing and a miss. That's the first out.
When you think about that Alvarez error to start this inning on the Reed Johnson smash to third, it was set up because Reed Johnson likes to bunt for base hits and has done so recently. So Alvarez had to respect that and play in shallow at third base and just wasn't in a position to handle that hot shot.
Base hit center field. Soto on the board. Cubs now with 7 hits. That'll be it for the starter, Bedard. And it is our Honda call to the pin. It's going to be Chris Resop. for Bedard, who went just 4 1/3, 7-2 Cubs. Chris Risa.
Fastball, curveball, changeup combination from Risa. You see his numbers on the season. Threw a scoreless inning on Saturday. Got his first win of the season. Also pitched a scoreless inning on Friday in Houston.
And that win on Saturday was his first since September 3rd of last year here at Wrigley Field. So, Bob, we got an email from Greg Altringer from Great Falls, Montana. He and his girlfriend coming to Chicago for the first Cubs game tonight. So excited. She doesn't know if that he's going to be proposing in the middle of the 5th inning. So the proposal was on the scoreboard in center, but she was off getting beverages. That's Erica.
What a gal.
So he's freaking out because she missed the proposal. So will the proposal take place? He looks like he's not feeling too good right now.
If she's willing to make the beer run, he ought to marry her right now.
How could he let her go get the refreshments when he knew that in the middle of the 5th the scoreboard message would appear? Darwin Barney with a bloop base hit to right. Soriano will score. 8-2. Barney now with 4 RBIs in the last 2 innings.
It's just off of the outside corner at 93. Barney can reach it. He'll swing at it. Dump shot into right field, and no hesitation on the part of Pat Listash, waving Alfonso Soriano around third to score. We've talked about it a lot recently. Alfonso Soriano looks like he has his legs back underneath him again. He's been running really well.
It's a career high 4 RBIs for Barney. Strike on Mather. Cubs were down 2-1 into the bottom of the 4th. They've scored 7 unanswered runs. Cubs media relations department reporting that Anthony Rizzo's 7th home run this month makes him the first Cub rookie to hit 7 homers in July since Gene Baker in 1954. Two pitch. Fastball outside. It's appropriate to mention Gene Baker because he played for 2 teams in the major leagues, the Cubs and the Pirates. He was an all-star in 1955 with the Cubs. Alvarez can't get it. Deflects off his glove. 9-2 as Soto scores.
A hard topspin grounder this time. Alvarez playing a little bit deeper, but still can't quite get to it. Just tips off the leather on into left field for a base hit.
These runs charged to Bedard. It's a season high 9 runs allowed by Eric Bedard. Germano wants that one back over the screen. This ties a career high allowed by Bedard. He gave up 9 runs at Yankee Stadium back on May 23rd, 2008 with Seattle. Eight of the 9 earned tonight. It actually hit the plate. And McHenry will throw to first. So the guy who got it started, Reed Johnson. There's Reed. As we wait. Is he out of the game? I wonder if kind of has a look of
yeah, sure does.
Johnson coming out. Maybe well, we don't want to speculate, but it seems pretty obvious what's going on. So somebody will pinch hit for Johnson. It'll be David DeJesus. We may have possibly seen Reed's final at bat as a Chicago Cub. Here's DeJesus.
Yeah, you get the feeling if this was a empty the bench with a big lead move, you'd see Tony Campana instead of Reed Johnson. But since it's David DeJesus taking the at-bat, it makes me feel like you're right on about the situation with Reed.
Also, just the fact that it took so long. Didn't have anybody in the on-deck circle for a good 30 seconds. So Reed finishes the night. He actually went 0 for 3, but he scored 2 runs. He struck out in the first inning, reached on a wild pitch, reached on an error here in this 5th inning, would score on the Rizzo home run. One and nothing to DeJesus. A lot of people were surprised that the Cubs hadn't been a big player in terms of all the trades we've heard about over the past week. But I also think every observer would have been very surprised to see the Cubs not make moves here over the final 24 hours. And that process may have started. And we talked about how interesting it's been as that ball hits first base. Everything going right for the Cubs. 2 runs will score. Barney and Mather. How about that? Eleven to 2, a 7-run 5th.
As well placed a ground ball as you can possibly imagine. That looked like it was going to be a routine 3 unassisted put out at first base. The ball hits the bag, then gets away from Garrett Jones. Barney was going to score easily. Mather had held up around third base, but when the ball got farther away from Garrett Jones, even Mather was able to come around and score.
Straightaway center. McCutchen back over his head into the bushes. A 2-run homer for him. 13 to 2.
Just a spinning breaking ball at 80 on the inside part of the plate. This pitch doesn't do what it's supposed to. It's supposed to dip down low and away from Starlin Castro. To his credit, he recognizes and absolutely crushes that hanging breaking ball to straightaway center.
Boy, they have brought out the big lumber tonight. Well, we don't know if they're engaged, but they're happy about the home run. 9 runs here in the inning. Knocked down by Resop. He'll underhand to Jones to end the inning. Cubs put up 9 in the 5th. They stand here at Wrigley Field. 13 to 2. tonight. Well, she missed the scoreboard proposal as Greg finally in person proposed to Erica, and apparently she said yes.
Yeah.
After the 9-run fifth.
Yeah, I'll propose when the Cubs score 9 runs in an inning. Congratulations to Greg and Erica from Montana. What a night at the ballpark, huh?
De Jesus into play center after pinch hitting for Reed Johnson. And rookie lefty Jeff Beliveau in for Justin Germano, who's trying to get his first win as a Cub and his first in the big leagues since 2007. Leading 13-2.
A nice job by Germano under the circumstances. Game exactly as advertised. A variety of off-speed pitches that he commands around the edges of the strike zone. Sneaky quick at times with his fastball, and kept the ball in the ballpark.
Pitch to McCutchen. Ball one outside. Cubs president of business operations Crane Kenny said, come on down. It's worth a seat upgrade, I would say.
Where'd you say? Great Falls, Montana? Beautiful, beautiful country up there. That's where I played rookie ball for the San Francisco Giants about 1 million years ago.
Shank foul off to the right, 2-2. Well, what an outburst for the Cubs offense. 12 runs over the last 2 innings. 8 of them coming on home runs. Barney and Rizzo 3-run shots. Castro 2-run homer for his 10th. Up the middle. Ooh. Wicked hop, and it goes right to Castro. Save. At 8 up Barney. I think Darwin's all right. Castro had the presence of mind to play that ricochet, and he almost got McCutchen.
What bad hop. Catches Darwin in the right shoulder. He had no idea where the ball went after it struck him, but it deflects right to Starlin Castro, who makes it a close play at first with a speedy runner out of that batter's box. What a heads-up play by Starlin to stay with it, even though they weren't able to get the out at first.
Jones couldn't hold up. 0-2. Three teams have gotten into double digits so far tonight. Cubs with 13. The Padres have scored 10 times at Cincinnati, leading 10-5 in the 7th, and the Angels with a 15-7 lead late at Texas. Barney will get the out at second. That's it. In honoring Ron Santo's induction into the National Baseball Hall of Fame, Louisville Slugger has just released a limited edition, full-size Ron Santo Hall of Fame commemorative bat. Get yours today at BigTimeBats.com or by calling 866-280-BATS. The knees on Neil Walker, hitting right-handed against the lefty Beliveau. Now they can't get it. Castro does. Little bobble, nowhere to throw it. Should be a hit for Walker. Two hits in the inning now. Alvarez. How about the job Justin Germano did tonight? 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. We talked about in the open, not overpowering. There's such a thing as a crafty righty. He would fit in that category. Doesn't throw hard, but kept the Pirates to just 2 runs and watched his team slug some homers.
His manager Dale Swain was talking about his arm speed, really selling those off-speed pitches, and that's exactly what we saw from Germano tonight. Used his fastball sparingly around the edges of the strike zone, threw strikes with a slow curve ball, an occasional straight changeup with the same arm speed that he had on his fastball.
One gets by, and the carom almost went over the head of Soto. It's a wild pitch, and now 3-0. First time Beliveau has pitched at this level and not faced the Cardinals. Alvarez late on that fastball, sneaky fast at 91. The bases are loaded.
It's one of those talks that a veteran catcher will give to a young pitcher. Hey, turn around and take a look at the scoreboard. You got an 11-run lead in this ball game. Throw the ball over the plate, let your defense work behind you. don't stop pitching. Continue to try to make your pitches, but don't be quite so careful.
It's Tony Watson up in the Pirate bullpen. Henry missed that one by a wide margin. 1-1. He's thinking, well, Belivo's got an 11-run lead. He's going to throw me a fastball. Nope. How about a changeup?
Perfectly located changeup with a little movement down and away from the right-handed hitter. We've talked about McHenry before. He wants to pull the ball.
And that's going to get down in front of DeJesus. One run will score to make it 13-3. First run charged to Beliveau in his short major league career. Second RBI tonight for McHenry. 13-3. Bases still loaded.
Even though that pitch is on the outside corner of the plate, mid-thighs, McHenry goes out and gets it, hooks it back toward the gap in left center field where David DeJesus plays it on a hop. Quickly gets it back in. Only one Pirate run scores.
Chris Bosio may be telling Mr. Beliveau the same thing you had intimated before.
That's a very fine line. I mean, you don't just want to stand out there on a mound and throw batting practice. You still have to make your pitches, but in order to do that, ideally you get ahead in the count, and then you can expand the strike zone, get some swings on pitches around the edges of the strike zone, but you just can't be out there nibbling and falling behind in counts, walking batters, putting yourself in a vulnerable position.
Manny Corpus getting loose. Missed badly. 1-0 to Barmes. Two and 0.
You know, we showed you earlier in the ball game Jeff Baker and his timing mechanism, tapping the bat on his right shoulder before approaching the pitch. If you watch Jeff Beliveau, he's got a little thing he does after he comes to his set position out there in the stretch. As he lifts that front leg, he'll tap the ball in his glove a couple times before delivering home. Actually, just one time there. Very similar to a hitter. It's just a timing mechanism for him to make sure his body's in the right position. That little tap slows his arm down just enough that he can get on top of the pitch. Beliveau opened some eyes in spring training down in Mesa this year. He was having a real nice start to the Cactus League action, and then his name started to get kicked around as a guy that could possibly sneak onto the roster, and I think he let it get between his ears a little bit too much. Had a couple of rocky outings later in camp and ended up breaking with the minor league team, but pitched extremely well this year in the minors. And here he is with a 10-run lead, pitching in the top of the sixth against the Pittsburgh Pirates at Wrigley Field in the big leagues.
It's to throw one over the plate here. 3-2 on Barmes with the bases loaded. Cubs lead by 10. but he can't. 13-4. Casey McGee announced as a pinch hitter for Resop. And that'll be it for Beliveau. Honda call to the pen. Here comes veteran Manny Corpus. Cubs leading by 9. Pirates with the bases loaded. Call to the pen. Manny Corpus. Jeff Beliveau struggled in his 3rd major league outing. So Corpus comes in, 2 runs in. The bases are loaded with 1 out. Pinch hitter Casey McGee, the former Chicago Cub. And a double play ball. Castro, Barney, Rizzo. How about that? Corpus throws 1 pitch and gets out of the inning. They get a couple, but the Cubs still lead 13-4.
premier outlet for special MLB authenticated Cubs memorabilia. From game-used baseballs, bases, and jerseys to autographed bats and photos, Cubs Authentics has the most exclusive Cubs memorabilia. Visit the Wrigley Field Concourse, the Cubs store, or email cubsauthentics@cubs.com for all your memorabilia needs.
Giovanni Soto, Cubs dugout.
It didn't look like they were congratulating him just for getting out of that inning.
What's going on tonight? Well, in the bottom of the fifth alone, we saw 9 runs, a marriage proposal, and what could have been a trade. That was just in 1/2 inning tonight. Soriano with an awkward swing. Hope he didn't tweak his ankle there as he strikes out.
Left-hander Tony Watson taking over for the Pirates in some mop-up duty here. Generally, he's their left-handed specialist. Just comes in to face a left-handed hitter or two. But tonight, Clint Hurdle will try to get a little distance out of his lefty.
There's a 1-0 to Baker. That's a strike.
You see a lot of strange things happen at the trade deadline, Len, and one of the strangest started here at Wrigley Field back on August 4th, 1982. Former teammate of mine with the Giants, Joel Youngblood, was playing for the Mets here at Wrigley Field against the Cubs. That ball's wrapped into center field right at McCutchen. 2 down. In that ball game, Joe Youngblood got a hit against future Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins. He was taken out of the ball game, informed by his manager that he'd been traded to the Montreal Expos, who were playing a night game in Philadelphia. So Joe Youngblood ran up in the visitors' clubhouse, showered, grabbed his equipment, went out on the corner, caught a cab, went to O'Hare, flew to Philly, and was immediately inserted into the lineup that night for the Expos against another future Hall of Famer, Steve Carlton. Promptly gets a base hit in the 7th inning. 2 hits for 2 teams in 2 cities off of 2 Hall of Fame pitchers on the same day.
Amazing. One of the most amazing stories of trade deadline action. Clevenger hitting for Soto. And a very similar treatment when he left the game as Reed Johnson did earlier.
You just hope you can get through the rest of this ball game without any incident behind the plate.
You know I love you, partner. Don't hug me, though, over the final 3 innings. I'm getting a little nervous, all right?
You're not going anywhere.
Trivia question: which team holds a single season mark for most homers on the road? The Giants with 138 in 2001, 117 of those hit by Barry Bonds.
Well, you're not far off.
Starling Marte's been impressive tonight. Couple of hits and RBI. He'd get doubled off in the fifth. Clevenger catching. Andy Corpus got that double play ball to get out of the sixth. 1-1. Oh, a hard hit ball. 3 hits for Marte.
Marte got a clean single back in the 5th inning, but our Coors Light freeze cam will show you what a deke is. Starlin Castro came in as if it were going to be a double play at second base, got Marte to slide, actually went around the bag at second. In the meantime, Reed Johnson made the catch, relayed on to Castro, who relayed on to Rizzo for the double play.
Marte with his first 3-hit game. This is only the 5th of his major league career. He's had 2 2-hit performances and now 3 this evening. Tell you what, with a run-scoring environment, the wind blowing out, it's hot tonight. Pirates have scored a lot of runs, hit a lot of home runs on the road. It sounds crazy to say, but I think that double play ball, coaxed by Corpus, actually pretty big. Well, they had a couple more in that 6th inning. They pull within 6 or 7. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
And the Pirates leading the National League with 30 come from behind victories.
Yeah. 3-1. I mean, an 11-run lead should be as safe as it gets. Well, we talk about this a lot, you know. The Pirates are thinking at the very least, let's try to get the Cubs to have to use a lot of their bullpen, and especially their closer. Rizzo can't get it. Barney will. He'll get the out at second. Good job by Corpus to cover first just in case.
Not to mention the momentum robbing effect of that double play. The Pirates had it going in that 6th inning, getting base hits, drawing base on balls. It looked like a rally that was going to produce a lot more than it ended up producing. And sometimes when you feel like you missed an opportunity to climb back into a blowout ball game, it's tough to get your motor started again.
Mentioned earlier, Kendrys Morales on the Angels with 2 homers tonight at Texas. He actually hit a home run from each side of the plate in the same inning. 3rd player in history to do that. Carlos Baerga of the Indians, and the Cubs, Mark Bellhorn. Baerga did it in '93. Bellhorn 10 years ago. Oh, 0-2. goes out. How about that? Down 9 runs. Alex Presley's thrown out trying to steal second. Did that really just happen?
Yes, it did. Boy, nice throw by Steve Clevenger, right on the money. All Darwin Barney has to do is catch that ball, and Presley's out at second base. A great shot of it right there. Throw right in front of the bag at second.
Line foul. Well, it's being widely reported now that Brett Jackson has been pulled from the Iowa Cubs game tonight. So all kinds of intriguing things going on. One and two on McCutchen. Pitch outside on a slider. 2-2. Three and two. Lower outside corner in the Nissan pitch tracks. Popped up behind the plate. Clevenger will not have room. Nice grab by a young Cub fan who brought his glove to the ballpark.
Nicely done, young man. Our Home Depot doing more on defense. Not sure of his name, but what a great play. I love it.
Dude, let me look at the ball, his buddy's saying. High fly ball left field. Soriano with a catch. Captain Morgan's 7th inning stretch coming up.
For Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Grammy award-winning music sensation Gloria Estefan.
All right, fans, let me hear you. I picked a great night for a Cubs game. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, that's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out of the old ball game.
bottom of the 7th, 13-4. Darwin Barney out into right center, and it's going to drop down. It's going to get all the way to the wall, in fact, and Barney will make his way toward third. And he's in. He is a double away from the cycle. What a night for Darwin Barney. Ooh, that's now 5 triples this homestand for the Cubs.
A lot of it has to do with the placement of the hits, but even more so is the aggressive base running we've seen from the Cubs during this homestand. Ball gets away from Presley ever so slightly. That's all Darwin Barney needs to turn the corner at second, slide into third base with a leadoff triple.
And great to have with us in the booth 3-time Grammy Award winner Gloria Estefan. Great to have you here. Great job with the stretch.
Oh, I'm so happy.
A lovely voice.
Thank you so much, and what a great view. This is amazing, and what a great night to catch a Cubs game. My Lord.
We have been enjoying your voice and your songs for a long time, and it's great to hear you do the 7th inning stretch as Joe Mather hits that ball off the wall. Barney will jog home, and Mather has a sliding double. They keep pounding away, 14-4.
You've inspired them tonight.
Do you see that? I brought that Miami spice down up here. Yes, indeed.
So you've been busy here in Chicago.
Very busy. We're shooting a show, the next, that airs on the 16th of August, and I'm mentoring one of my artists right here, and she's here with me tonight, so it's
great.
Having a great time.
So you're going to be at the Vic tomorrow night.
We are.
And tell us what you've been doing here in Chicago, other than coming to Wrigley Field and singing the stretch as Manny Corpus bats.
I have spent, we were in Millennium Park today, enjoying the sights in Chicago, and actually spending time, 72 hours, with the girl that I'm mentoring and meeting her family, and that's what I love about the show. We really get to spend some time.
Now, are all of the icons on the show traveling to all the different cities?
Yes, we are.
Okay,
all
so you're
4.
going to 6 cities?
Yes, we are. We each get a contestant in each city, and then the city votes for the winner right there that night. And those are the ones, the winner will go to L.A. at the end of September for the finals in National. So it's going to be great, a lot of fun. We have a great chemistry, the mentors. Nelly, Joe Jonas, John Rich.
Called strike 3. So Corpus is out. And 1 away. And in addition to your great music career, you've been in the restaurant business for a while, too.
We have. I think we're around 8 restaurants at this point. Cuban food, trying to promote the culture as well, through food as well as music. So my grandma was a great chef, and I grew up in the kitchen with her. That was her dream to do it, so I kind of completed it for her.
De Jesus with 1 out.
And we're in the beginning stages of the Olympics over in London, and your song Reach back in 1996 was kind of like the theme song of the Olympics in Atlanta.
It was, and I performed it at the closing ceremonies. It was amazing. The athletes actually came up on my stage. I thought we were going to flip it over for a minute. They were euphoric. It was amazing. What an experience.
Jesus flies out to right. So did you grow up a baseball fan?
I'm a sports fan. I love it all. Cubans, we love our baseball. So my grandpa would take me to the games in Miami once we were there, and I followed a lot of sports. I love basketball, football as well. I love sports. My dad actually have a bronze medal that he won for volleyball in the 52 games.
Wow.
Yes, so 54 Pan Am games. Yeah, so he was great athlete.
Have you been to the new ballpark yet in Miami?
No, my husband opened it. He did the opening ceremonies, but I was out traveling, so I missed it. But I'm definitely going to catch a game when I get back.
They did a nice job. They really framed the downtown skyline well.
I used to live right next to that. Yes, yeah, you know what?
Because they have a roof.
Yeah, and we've got rainy season 6 months of the year, so that helps a lot. And I used to live there when we came from Cuba. I was a baby. We used to live right next to the Orange Bowl, which is where the Marlins Park is now. Iconic.
0-1 to Starlin Castro. 2 outs. A run in. Cubs leading big, 14-4. Now, normally the 7th inning stretch singer says, let's get some runs, but You recognize the Cubs already had 13, so you said, let's just get some more.
Exactly. Why not? Don't stop there. That's a good thing. And 13 is my lucky number. Look at that.
That's right.
Yeah. Gonna get more.
0-2 on the way is high. Well, it seems like you still enjoy performing after all these years. It's nothing like the rush of singing in front of a big crowd, is it?
Definitely, and this is a big crowd. I haven't never sung this song before, at least not in public. We've all sung it at some point in our lives, but what an honor and a thrill to sing it here tonight on such a beautiful night and such a great night for the Cubs.
Was this your first time here at Wrigley?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Every time I've come to Chicago, I'm working, so I can never do all the fun stuff. And now I'm working, but it's not as grueling as doing a tour where you have to sing for 2 hours and be quiet the rest of the time.
Two on Starlin Castro. Swing and a miss. That's going to end the inning. Well, enjoy the rest of your time here in Chicago,
Thank you so
Gloria.
much. Thank you.
And yeah, good luck to your contestant as well.
Thank you. She's going to be phenomenal.
Awesome.
Thank you.
14-4. Of Cubs season, including the next homestand against division rivals the Reds and Astros on August 9th through the 15th at Wrigley Field. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Only Campana in for Soriano in left. And Manny Corpus still working. A no on Garrett Jones. Now 1-1. Well, Bob, I don't know how old Gloria Estefan is, and I wouldn't ask, and I know she is now a grandmother, but she does not look her age.
No. She has some pipes, man. I don't know what I was expecting. I should have known. I don't think I've ever heard the song sung quite like that before.
It's one of the most gorgeous voices we've ever heard, certainly in this booth. She was quite lovely. She's won 3 Grammys, 4 Latin Grammy Awards, 14 studio albums. Corpus with a 2-2. Jones stays alive.
She really needs to get out to that new ballpark in Miami. They need her help.
Yeah. Inside, 3-2.
Kind of funny to hear her say that she doesn't really get a chance to get out and see and do a lot of things when she's traveling around on tour, because obviously all of her energies are focused for that 2 or 3 hours she's up on stage, as that one's popped up to the middle of the infield. Starlin Castro will have it no problem. It's kind of like what happens to us. You know, people say, oh, it must be great traveling all around the National League, going to all those great cities. Yeah, awesome hotels, and the ballparks are nice. You know, unless you get an off day or are willing to wake up real early in the morning to get out and do something, you don't get to see a lot that the cities have to offer.
We do our best. Have you gone up in the Arch yet?
No.
You got to try it. That's an easy one in St. Louis. It takes about a half hour. We look at that thing so often. I'm going to be able to say, I've been up in that thing.
One of these days.
One of these days, right?
Since the fishing is so good down
That's
there
true.
in Southern
Well,
Illinois.
you have a good excuse.
Yeah, I hate to pass up a day of fishing to go stand at the top of the arch. Suppose you could cast a line all the way from the top of the arch down into the Mississippi River.
Well, can you find some fishing line that's, what, 600 feet? Josh Harrison, former Cub farmhand, swings and misses. 2-1. He's now playing second. Two and two. Pitch. Hit hard on a hop to the shortstop. Castro. 2 down. Alvarez hasn't put a ball in play. He has struck out and reached twice on walks. One and one.
Yeah, I think that's not going to be an unusual result for Pedro Alvarez in his career. What we've seen of him this season and last year, it seems to be one of those Adam Dunn type players, although he doesn't walk nearly as much as Adam Dunn, but he does strike out a bunch and he does hit home runs. And I'm sure the Pirates would like to think with more experience and seeing the pitchers in the National League, he will walk more.
1, 2, 3. Good job by Manny Corpus. 2 2/3. And no runs allowed tonight. We've gotten it back. Busy night on the eve of the trade deadline. Harrison goes from second to third. Drew Sutton, trust us, he's there behind Dave McKay, playing second, and Jared Hughes is the pitcher. And a swing and a miss by Rizzo. Outside, 2-1. Rizzo with a home run in the fifth, a 3-run blast. Through a little slump and really has busted out of it. He's now hit 4 home runs over his last 5 games. He's knocked in 10.
Hughes, the kind of guy tough to get elevation, throws that heavy power sinker in the low to mid 90s. Well, we've seen Rizzo go deep to the opposite field.
Leadoff walk. Here's Tony Campana for the first time. Left-hander Scott Maine getting ready for a possible appearance in the ninth. Well, great job, Manny Corpus. 2 2/3, 1 hit. Bailed out Jeff Beliveau. And the 6th.
Longest outing of the year for Manny Corpus. He had gone 2 innings 3 other times this season, but then to get that big double play and snuff out a Pirate rally, and then 2 strong innings after that.
Chopper to short. The flip to second. That's the only play Barma's had with the way Campana runs.
Coming up after the game, CSN's Jim Miller sits down with Bears quarterback Jay Cutler to discuss his health, his offseason acquisitions, and the upcoming season. All that and more on GMC Sportsnet Central tonight after postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Pitch to Baker. Big cut and a miss. One and 2 the count. Normally Campana would be thinking about stealing a base, but not up 10 runs in the 8th inning. In fact, he could go there, but I think he saw the ball at first behind McHenry, and then at that point he just don't want to rub it in.
I think you're absolutely right. Initially, Tony was screened as that ball trickled behind the umpire and the catcher. And when he does see it's right there on the grass, he decides just to hang on there at first base with 1 out in the inning. Let Jeff Baker swing the bat.
5-4 double clutch, and Baker safe. Sutton couldn't get rid of it. Pena was right on top of him.
Would have done a lot more damage in a closer ball game, perhaps, with a runner at third base. You'd like to flip that second baseman completely off his feet to make sure he doesn't complete the double play, but Tony just went straight into the bag. That in itself was enough of a distraction that Sutton couldn't get the ball out of his glove.
Clevenger 0 for 1. Swing and a miss. Cubs with a season high in runs with 14. Scored the most runs in an inning. Previous high was 6, which they did twice. A 9-run fifth in this one. Fouled right at the plate. Final in Atlanta, 8-2 the Braves over the Marlins tonight. Jason Hayward with a home run. He scored 3 times. And the Braves finally won on Monday. They had lost 16 in a row on Monday, including 0-12 to start this year. I'm not going to quote the Carpenters again. As Clevenger singles into left. Trouble on my radio show for doing that.
Who does that song I Don't Like Mondays? Geldof? Yeah, somebody has a song.
Boomtown Rats?
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. Right, that's hip enough apparently for us to mention. That's only 30 years ago or whatever.
That's why I was so shocked earlier when I saw that Dave Kaplan was going to have Lupe Fiasco on his show. I think Cappy stopped listening to music after Billy Joel got married for the first time. You know, that was it. That's the end of music as he knows it.
Once said to me, I know you're into music, what should I be listening to? He was a blank slate.
So where'd you send him?
I don't remember. Everybody I mentioned, he looked at me and said, no idea who you're talking about. I said, Elvis, the Beatles, no. I'm kidding, Cap.
Cap's too busy digging up nuggets.
It's like there's a lot to dig up tonight.
Yes, indeed. He's going to be busy tonight.
Darwin Barney with a homer, a single, and a triple. Cubs have made Pirates pitchers work for every out tonight. They got 9 runs off the starter Eric Bedard. That tied his career high. Just 4 1/3 innings. Tell you what, Bob, Cubs with 14 hits tonight. I'm calling for the cycle here.
Why not?
It's one, it feels like everything's going their way offensively. Cubs haven't had a cycle in 19 years. Mark Grace back in 1993. Owen's a good 2-strike hitter. He had a 3-run homer to give the Cubs the lead in the 4th. Plated a run with a single in the 5th. Tripled in the 7th. Low 2-2. You think he'll take?
Oh, no.
If it's a ball?
No.
I don't either. I think he's hacking away here on 3-2. Crowd tonight 33,337. Another 3-2 pitch. Took that one for a called strike 3. We'll go to the 9th. Cubs lead by 10. Night was the inning everybody's talking about. The Cubs scored a season high 9 runs in that 5th inning. Anthony Rizzo with a 3-run homer. Starlin Castro 2-run blast. He had a proposal on the scoreboard. She was out getting beverages, so he had to propose a little later in person. We got hugs in the dugout. Reed Johnson, Giovanni Soto. All kinds of internet speculation that they've been traded. And here we are in the 9th, 14-4. The Cubs with the lead, and it's Scott Main on to try to get the final 3.
Bring it on home. Scott Main, big-time strikeout pitcher so far this season. Occasionally will lose the zone. He's walked 10 batters this year, but no reason to walk anybody right here in the ninth. Go right at him.
Michael McHenry, catcher. Ball one inside. If everything that's been reported has happened, the Cubs will say goodbye to some veterans and they'll welcome in some other players, possibly young guys from their own minor league system. The one thing you can count on in this game of baseball is that nothing stays the same for long, and that includes the 25-man roster. And what it also means is that if you are a veteran in that clubhouse and you have been traded, there's about a 99% chance you've been traded to a team that's in the playoff hunt.
It's always bittersweet. Obviously, you've made a lot of friends. Hard not to love the city of Chicago and playing at Wrigley Field every day, but an exciting opportunity to perhaps get involved in a pennant race and make a difference for your new team.
Three and two. Fly ball to right field. Jeff Baker just had to read his name in trade rumors circles as well. One away. Saturday, David DeJesus and the Cubs take the action to L.A. for a showdown with Matt Kemp and the Dodgers. Our coverage starts at 7:30 with Subaru Cubs pregame live. Cubs and Dodgers Saturday night at 7:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Barmes pops up. Anthony Rizzo, you might have been able to hear him saying, I got it, I got it, I got it. Field microphones. 2 outs. And it'll be the second baseman, Drew Sutton. Stay tuned for post-game live. Sportsnet Central will have all the latest post-game reaction and more.
Well, we don't know if the Cubs are done dealing yet, Len, but be quite an adjustment for the young players who have gone through this process at the trade deadline for the first time and have seen some of their veteran teammates shipped off to other ball clubs. That can be a little startling for a young player when you're used to playing with the same group of guys for pretty much an entire season. You move up together with those guys. Anthony Rizzo, of course, has been traded a couple of times already in his young career, but for a lot of guys, this is their first experience at the trade deadline.
Swing and a miss. Cubs win. This game was in doubt for about 4 innings, and then the Cubs scored 9 in the 5th. Barney gets the game-winning RBI on the home run in the 4th. But 9 runs in that 5th inning. And the game was pretty much over at that point as they hand the Pirates their 3rd loss in the last 4 games these two teams have played. Our GMC player of the game, Starlin Castro. He got it going in the 1st inning with an RBI double into the corner. He would reach base 4 times tonight.
Had a real nice night defensively as well. Was on top of his game all the way around. Fun to watch when things are working well. Starlin Castro, nice diving stop up the middle right there. Nice decoy at second base to help the Cubs turn a double play on a fly ball to center field.
Well, they just beat the Cardinals 2 of 3 after winning 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh, and they pound the Pirates tonight 14-4. Luke Stuckmeyer standing by with our honorable mention for player of the game. It's Darwin Barney. Go ahead, Luke.
Thank you, Len. Darwin, that's 5 home runs on the season. You really got all of that one. What was that pitch? Looked like he caught up to a fastball.
Yeah, it was a fastball in. I'm looking for something to drive. Unfortunately, I botched up a double play ball, and for a guy like that, you want to get him out of that inning. So I was happy to come back and get him a few runs, and it felt good.
This team's played pretty good baseball considering there could be a lot of distractions over the last month or so. Is it nice to have a game like this?
Yeah, it was probably the most distracted game of all, with things going down and guys getting pulled, the deadline being tomorrow. So it made it more relaxing, us having a win like this today. So it was good.
I was going to say, what are the next 24 hours going to be? We saw a lot of guys that are really popular in the clubhouse shaking and saying goodbye during the game. What was that like?
That's hard, a guy like Reed, he's a good friend, and his son's my daughter's best friend. So, stuff like that hits home, but it's part of the game, it's part of the business. You wish them luck, and you try and move on to the next day.
Thank you, and congratulations on a good game.
Thank you.
Len will have all the trade information coming up on the postgame show.
Luke, thanks so much. Good work tonight. And for Bob, our producer John Walsh, our director Dave Turner, our associate producer Tamara Anderson, our tech manager Mark Harper, our executive producer Jim Forno Jr., Paula Ostroba, our stage manager in the booth, Luke Stuckmeyer, Len Casper saying so long from Wrigley Field. Final score, Cubs 14, the Pirates 4. We're in L.A., Dodger Stadium, the site, 7:30 for the pregame. Cubs and Dodgers in Game 2 of the upcoming series. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad.